Hi, I'm Randy Robison. This is Life Today Special Digital Edition. I'm here, man, with a guy who is on fire, author of the book, When Faith Catches Fire. Sammy Rodriguez is here with me. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
I have a question for you, a bit tongue-in-cheek, but I've been watching the news lately, and I hear that our president, whom you know, is a raging white supremacist.
No, I mean, no. The answer is no. President Trump is not a white supremacist. And President Trump, who is married to an immigrant, by the way, so he can't be anti-immigrant. He's married to an immigrant. His child.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Intellectually speaking, just from a logical continuum, you can't have a child who is from an immigrant mother and be anti-immigrant. So it's just intellectually naive, right?
Yeah.
President Trump has a commitment. He really carries a commitment. And it's not just rhetoric, he really wants to make America great, and his terms would be again. Yeah. He really wants to reinforce the values that made us exceptional. God over man, man over government, that powerful value that our rights are given by God. Number two, limited government. The more government grows, the more man's personal liberties are cast aside. And our dependency becomes on government and not on our own God-given abilities. So I understand and his compassion and his commitment to the worker, right? To the middle class, to the working class, and even to lifting up those that are impoverished in the inner cities of America. These are things that he has articulated. So President Trump is a businessman. He is not a polished politician. I have not agreed with every single word that has come out of President Trump's mouth. At all. Neither did I agree with President Obama. But I respected the office when President Obama was in office, and I prayed for him daily. And I honored him indeed. And I took it personal when people would say, we're not even praying for this president, and there's no way we could even ask God to bless this president. I find that to be anti-Christian. So with President Obama, I was faithful in praying and asking others to pray for him, even when I disagreed with him on many occasions. Yeah. And with President Trump, there are a number of things that he has stated, maybe a couple of tweets, a number of tweets. His articulation regarding certain issues have not been as nuanced or as compassionate as I would have framed it. Nevertheless, I have sat down with this man, I have met with this man, and I've had conversations with this man, and I can tell you that he really is committed to making America great again.
Yeah. For everyone.
For everyone. Now, I'm Samuel Rodriguez. I'm not Samuel Rogers. I'm not Samuel Smith. I'm Samuel Rodriguez. That Rodriguez, that Latino last name, that Spanish last name, it has a lot of implications. Why would he invite me to participate in his swearing-in ceremony? Why does he grant me access to the White House, to the Oval Office? All of these questions have to be asked. So this is not a man that has, the white supremacy thing is just absolutely intellectually, I get the question tongue-in-cheek because it's inaccurate, but it's not an accurate portrayal. And I would speculate in conversations with him that even though he's a tough man, we know his demeanor, right?
Sure.
It's really tough, that sort of rugged, nothing can touch me, nothing can bruise me. But I would beg to differ. He's a grandfather, and he's a father. And on a number of occasions, you have seen this man moved by incidents that happen here in America and around the world, especially when it has implications for the next generation. So I believe in his heart of hearts, all these different descriptors and nomenclatures about whether or not he is a supremacist or a racist. I think at the end of the day, his spirit is grieved and going, I can't believe that. Yeah. And it's not accurate. No. Again, I would love him to articulate things in a way where it's more comprehensive, in a more nuanced manner. But I think we need to be careful in assigning labels and descriptors and nomenclatures to people that we should be praying for daily.
Yeah, my dad's lifetime of helping people, which includes a lot of people of other races all around the world. He asked people to pray for President Trump and asked people to pray that God would give him wisdom. And I have seen in the threads where he's been called a racist for doing the same thing, for just asking to pray.
Well, how can we be racist asking people to engage Scripture, pray for those that are in government authority over you in government.
Right.
Besides, I mean, we are called by God to pray. In the New Covenant, by the way, we're talking about New Testament.
Yeah.
Besides Romans 13 and adhering to the rule of law, the Apostle Paul would admonish us to pray. It is our mandate, our biblical mandate, to pray for those that are over us in government.
Yeah. So as ridiculous as all the accusations can be, the issue of racial reconciliation is real. How do we best go about getting rid of any divide that's out there?
The issue of racial,
black, white,
indeed,
Hispanic, whatever.
We are divided. We haven't been this divided since the late 1960s. Yeah. And some have argued we haven't been this divided since the Civil War. I don't know how accurate that may be, but at least rhetorically, as it pertains to a nation, in the rhetoric, the protests, the marches, the angst, the anxiety, the division, 1960s without a doubt. We're back again. Here we are again. And there are many reasons for this racial angst. And some of the reasons have legitimacy connected to them, and some of them do not. Some of them actually stem from media exacerbated hyperbole for the purpose of benefiting and profiting from constant strife. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that communities of color, African Americans and Latinos, are being exploited for the purpose of advancing a political agenda or ideology, or for perpetual strife, because there is money, there are ratings that stem out of constant anarchy and chaos and fragmentation. Yep. And certain cable news networks and outlets really, they increase their viewership via the conduit of exacerbating and pointing to ideas that can grow. And it's just unfortunate. But there are legitimate reasons. I do believe that the issue of criminal justice reform, there are issues of questions in communities of color regarding whether or not it's liberty and justice for all, and whether or not Lady Liberty is truly blind and the law is applied equally across the board. So there's anxiety in ethnic communities, but it's a long way in its unfolding. It's just not just something overnight. It's not just Charlottesville or another incident. And it's been a trajectory now for a number of years. But here's the problem. The problem is we continue to fragment ourselves. While we are continuously looking at our differences, we will never find our commonality. We are all created in the image of God. Imago Dei, that Latin phrase for the image of God. If we begin every single day understanding that we are all, as Americans, as human beings, created in the image of God, and I'm gonna treat you with mutual love and respect, even when I disagree with you, because you carry the image of God. So when I wake up in the morning, how do I first identify myself? Is it Latino? Is it white, black? No, I am a Christian. My first identifying moniker every single morning is, I am a child of God, redeemed by the vicarious atoning work of Jesus. Because of the work of Jesus, I am born again, I am saved, I am a Christian. I am a Christian first. I'm an American. I'm blessed and grateful to God for being an American, born in the Republic of New Jersey, but raised in Pennsylvania. I'm an American of Latino Hispanic descent. Indeed, proud of that heritage likewise. But that's my pecking order. The skin color, my caramel skin color does not define me first and foremost. It's not my pigmentation. It's my spirituality. It's my soul connecting to God. The fact that I carry the image of God and there's great purpose for my life. And I want to be a blessing to everyone I meet. So I want to do away with my silo, and without diluting my appreciation for my heritage, I want to celebrate the fact that I'm a child of God, created in the image of God, and I want to change the world along with my fellow men. It sounds utopic to a great degree, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
You've spoken a lot, you've advised presidents, multiple presidents, about the issue of immigration. Tell us what we need to know. How do we handle this big issue?
My spiritual mentor, one of my elders, who you may or may not know, James Robison, James and I drafted a document. It's in the hands of the president as we speak. It's an immigration proposal that I believe will serve his commitment to ending illegal immigration, not granting amnesty, protecting the sovereignty of America, while simultaneously exhibiting America's compassion for those who have been here undocumented but are not dependent on government subsidies, are hardworking, and will adhere to the rule of law with the exception of coming here illegally. So we submitted a proposal that I believe addresses all those issues in a very comprehensive manner. And we believe that if this president embraces that proposal, we can bring an end to our immigration melees.
In a nutshell, what are we looking at?
Stop illegal immigration, build a wall, be it virtual, physical, concrete.
Wait. You're in favor of building a wall.
Yeah, I'm in favor of building. Why not? We're a sovereign nation. We want to protect the sovereignty of America. We have a right to build the wall. We need to stop illegal immigration. People should not be coming here illegally. Absolutely, it's wrong. It's wrong from a sovereignty standpoint and from a Christian standpoint, knowing the history of what happens with the coyotes, how they exploit people, how they rape little girls.
It's true.
From a very compassionate standpoint, just to take care of these wonderful people. They are wonderful people. The vast majority are God-fearing, hardworking people that want a better day.
Yeah, they are.
We want them to come here legally, so we need to stop illegal immigration. But number two, we need to have a guest worker program. We need to address the number of visas in a way that addresses the different sectors of our economy in a way that's both viable and sustainable. And number three, we need to do something with those that are currently here undocumented. So if you have been here for years, if your kids were born here, if you're not dependent on welfare, and you're hardworking, and other than coming here illegally, you're not involved in gangs or drugs or nefarious activities, we're gonna find a way to integrate you. We're gonna find a way to legalize you. That's not citizenship, by the way.
Okay.
If you wanna become a citizen, you gotta go to the back of 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 the line. And do everything the right way. Even possibly, if it requires you to go back to your country of origin for some time, a day, a week, whatever it may be, a limited amount of time, without jeopardizing your job and your income here, go back, fill out the paperwork, come in legally. That may be your requirement. So what we will guarantee is a green card, basically permanent residency. If you want to work here, as long as you're not a criminal, let's make that happen. But if you want to become a citizen, go back to your country, come back legally, enter legally, and go through the process at the very back of the line without getting in front of those who have done it legally. That's a fair Christian response. Who would oppose that? So there's no concern about we're gonna have 11 million citizens immediately overnight who are gonna vote one political ideology or the other.
Right.
That's not gonna happen.
Right.
If there's a way of doing this where it's a win-win for everyone, including the families that are here undocumented, without separating families. You don't want to separate families. Kids that were born here and parents that have been here for 30 years. Come on, there's a way of doing this there's a better way of doing this.
Your better way is on the president's desk or in the hands of the administration?
In the hands of the administration, indeed. That I can assure you. And James and I had the privilege of being with the president and the vice president, spent some time, and we submitted our proposal to our leadership, indeed.
And a lot of that is what you're talking about in your book, When Faith Catches Fire. Why write a whole book about what God's doing in the... Do you prefer Latino or Hispanic?
Doesn't matter. Latino, Hispanic. It's West Coast, East Coast. It's generational.
Okay.
They both work.
In that community, why write a book about what's going on there?
Because we have issues right now between white and black. White and black, white and black, white and black, white and black,
You
right?
guys feel left out.
Well, yeah, we are left out. But here it is. What if the fastest growing ethnic and religious demographic in America, the Latino community, 25% of America right now, but by 2050, a significant portion. By 2050, the majority of Americans will no longer be of Caucasian or Anglo-Western European descent.
Right.
What if the Latino community is actually here in America by divine providence for the purpose of reconciliation? What if Latinos, because we are white, as you well know, and we also have black Latinos, and we have brown Latinos. As Latinos, we have the European Spaniard blood, so it's Western European. We have the Asian or the Indian, we have that blood, and then we have the African blood, especially from the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Brazil. So we have them all. We are the walking United Nations. We look like America. Latinos embody America. White Latinos, brown Latinos, black Latinos. So what if we are here by divine providence to reconcile right now this nation? What if Latinos emerge as the tourniquet at this very moment in time in American history where this nation is bleeding with racial polarization and anxiety and strife? What if we are the balm of Gilead? What if God actually has us here for a purpose, a divine purpose? That's what this book is all about. When Faith Catches Fire It is the ethos, the DNA of the Latino community, but not for the purpose of we are Latino-centric, God forbid. It's actually about integration, about kingdom collaboration, and about how this community may very well be the answer to American Christianity in the 21st century.
How can whites and blacks and Asians and Native Americans join you in seeing that dream become a reality?
And it's in the book. The book is actually written for primarily, Latinos are gonna love it because it's their historical contextualization, but the #1 audience is non-Latino.
Oh, okay.
This will help Anglo pastors, African-American pastors, ministers, leaders, lay people reach out to the Latino community by knowing what they believe, their ethos, the values. Why do we do the things we do? What do we value? Well, and I mean, it's all statistically derived, so it's research-based, but it's written in a way that's common language for all of us to understand. This is a call to reconcile Billy Graham's message with Dr. King's march. What if it takes a Latino community to reconcile Billy Graham and Dr. King? What if white America will never reconcile with Dr. King? And what if black America will never reconcile with Billy Graham? But what if Latinos come together and stand right in the middle of both and say, here it is. I want you to grab Billy Graham here, and I want you to get Dr. King here. Let's marry them. And here we are. Let's bring you together. Our generation will marry Billy Graham's message of salvation through Christ alone with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s march. We will do that. That's the clarion call.
I'm with you, brother. What's your website for people who want to get the book?
It's pastorsam.com or whenfaithcatchesfire.com.
Excellent. Check it out. Get the book. Let's be a part of this. My goodness, what a great honor to be able to be a part of this, all of us. You can see more of Sammy Rodriguez when he's on Life Today on the broadcast show that's available at lifetoday.org. Thank you for watching and sharing this interview. Be sure to check out the social media for Life Today Television, and you can connect with me on Facebook and Twitter. And if you haven't already subscribed or followed this channel, do it now so you can see more of our great guests.